Welcome back, everybody, to the final Sentimiento Latino of the year. Sentimiento Latino number 121. My god, that's a lot of sentimientos. I'm, of course, your host, Live VIP, and with me, I am joined by not just my plushies, but also by this winter wonderland. It is, of course, the end of the year. We're nearing Christmas, New Year's, all that good stuff. We're only a couple of weeks away. Whew, but we still got plenty of StarCraft. Oh god, Fala Galera in the chat. Very fitting as well. You know, that is the chance, I guess our chance, of the Brazilian players, and we are going to be featuring one of them here. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you want to have a look at the brackets. And even though the bracket is pretty small, it's pretty short, it's also very sweet. Like, pretty much every single player is one to look out for. And looking at the first round, I was like, yo, as it looks like we have to remake the lobby, but this one right here is what we want to be looking at. Of course, the TheZergLord is one of the best Zerg players in the entire region. He's a DreamHack quality player. He's up there with the likes of Jim Rising, Eggs, Ryu, even Cham a little bit. And we have his opponent INFANSON, who we have been casting quite a lot of over the past couple of months. INFANSON has really risen the ranks, recently joined Root Gaming, relatively recently joined Root Gaming. And off the back of that, he's been improving a lot. He's been making it to the finals, to the semi-finals of these tournaments, not just Sentimiento Latino, but also Battle of the Americas, Copa Hyperion. INFANSON has been popping off. But he has quite an opponent ahead of him as we are diving into our first series of the day. Again, massive shout out to everyone else in the chat. Space Moon Milk with all of that youth juice. Is Space Moon Milk the youth juice that we all we all sip on? I don't know. Real Dr. Green Thumb, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in as we dive into our first series of the day. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Brazilian Zerg. He is red. Oh god. He is red, representing Amantes de StarCraft. It is the TheZergLord. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Peruvian Protoss player. He is blue, representing Root Gaming. It is INFANSON. Bit of a cheeky Latin American PvZ, which is what we should be used to here on when it comes to these weekly tournaments. You know, we've got plenty of great players like your Ryus, your Eggs, your Jim Rising. When it comes to Protoss, we have Paco Mike, Shakti, and recently INFANSON. And something about INFANSON is that we haven't casted him in the past, like, maybe 2 weeks. Unfortunately, we've been a little bit busy with ANZ champs. We haven't been able to cast Latin American StarCraft. We missed out on last week's Copa Hyperion. The week before that, we missed out on Sentimiento Latino. So I want to apologize, because I know there are a lot of Latin American fans out there, and we did miss out on a couple of weeks. It is our bad. Not without reason. Like, unfortunately, I was busy casting ANZ champs, so I couldn't commit to 2 broadcasts back to back like that. But ANZ champs is over, it's done, we crowned our champion, and now we are back to our regular broadcasts. And honestly, I miss it. There's a special place in my heart for los Latinos out there, duking out in StarCraft. You know, they're very passionate about the game. I know a lot of them are taking some time off. I know, for example, you may be looking at the bracket and you're like, yo, when it comes to Los Patitos, where is Eric? You know, where's our boy? And Eric has been taking a break. He has been playing a lot of Age of Empires. Sad to say, personally, I'm not as fond of Age of Empires as I am of StarCraft, obviously. But that is what he has been up to. It's still an RTS nonetheless. But Eric does plan to return to StarCraft next year when it comes to DreamHack, right? And preparing for that. So he's going to attempt to balance 2 games at once. You know, your StarCraft when the DreamHack season is around, and also AoE 4 to see if anything happens with that as well. Meanwhile, of course, we have our Duckling Ryu here. Neo is missing, but also I recognize Neo has also been focusing a lot on his studies on university, so it's like, it's a bit of a shame, but a lot of our regulars are here, and that's what I'm excited about. You know, we got some great Brazilian representation, we got some Peruvian representation as well. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Jim is in the bracket. Jin signed up. He didn't check in. Funada Jim. I know he's streaming right now, but I don't know what game he's streaming. God damn it, Jim. Shaking my head. He missed the check-ins. But some of the other names, Shakti, White Aja, Slayer's MVP. Gonna be exciting. You know, we got some Terran mixed in there as well. But so far, when it comes to the openers, INFANSON does whip out that Void Ray first. He is going for a Stargate opening, but that doesn't mean it's going to be Stargate. It is Berlingrad we're talking about, a map infamous for Queen Walks because of how small this map is, because of how short the rush distance is. So I kind of look at INFANSON here, and I'm like, okay, what are you going to bring to the table? Is it going to be double Stargate, or are you going to transition from here into a Twilight Council? As we have a couple of links coming across the map, trying to apply some pressure to this third base, but INFANSON should be able to hold on. The first the first Oracle gets across the map, but there is a Spore. Oh no! INFANSON, please! He loses his first Oracle. At the same time, he was trying to dip him with a Void Ray, took a lot of damage, a lot of hull damage, but the Void Ray does survive. But losing the Oracle for 2 drones? You don't want to be trading like that. Rough start here from INFANSON, as he is going into +1 air attack, but not throwing down a second Stargate, instead going straight for a Twilight Council. And a Forge. Huh. Interesting. So usually we see second Stargate and a Forge instead. The Forge typically is just for cannons and shield batteries, right? Like I should say cannons, basically. Shield batteries, you don't need a Forge. But you just set up defensively at your third base and then macro up. But no, instead it looks like he is going to be using the Forge for upgrades, and he is transitioning into Charge. So this can actually hit pretty hard. Not necessarily thinking about the later stage of the game, but pushing out with Void Rays and Charge Lots. And if your opponent doesn't scout this, like, you can just win the game. Like, this can just roll over a Zerg player if the Zerg player doesn't know it's coming. So the TheZergLord has to be careful. So far, he's just been droning up pretty heavily. He's got his third base. We should be seeing a fourth soon. There we go. He's listening to the stream with that 2-minute delay. Fourth base is taken. It's a little bit exposed, and it's on INFANSON to be active with his Void Rays. His second Void Ray was just poking into the main base. He needs to rotate around to that fourth and deny it. In this day and age, if the Zerg player gets their fourth base uninterrupted, then it's pretty rough for the Protoss. But instead, the Void Rays are kind of stuck at home. So I don't blame him. It's Berlingrad. It's a really short map, so Ling run-bys can hit pretty quickly. But this is a little bit too passive, I feel. Like, you need to be active with these Void Rays, get whatever damage you can. But INFANSON just isn't doing it, and because of that, the TheZergLord is going to get his fourth up and running. Also, the Queens are here to protect it, but it took a while for them to show up. Like, again, if these Void Rays were a little bit more attentive, they could have been here, they could have forced a denial, and INFANSON would have been in a bit of a better position. But doesn't matter. We have 5 gateways being thrown down. We have our Warp Prism. We have our Charge. +1 is about to finish up. This is going to be a very strong timing. INFANSON, he's going to move out, and he's going to have a lot of Charge Lots. Okay, the Lings do spot the Void Ray. What do we have to defend? We don't have any Banelings. We don't have any Banelings. We don't have a Baneling Nest. We do have Roaches and Queens, though. We need a little bit more time. And we have 5 drones on the way. The TheZergLord, he didn't see the army. He only saw the Void Rays with his Scouter. Well, sorry, with his Spotter Ling. So he's still droning. Stop droning, the TheZergLord. Please, you need to calm down. There's just so many Charge Lots. And now INFANSON, he's just gonna come in. He's gonna aim him. And is there enough on the ground to stop him? The Zealots are getting on top of the Queens. Do we have enough energy for Transfuse? We do have some Transfuse. The Lings are coming in as well. At the same time, Zealots do get into the mineral line. Workers are going down left and right. And again, the TheZergLord, he just droned up too much. He just lost 15 workers, and he's even now in drones. Like, mesh, mate. Oh my god. GG gets called, and INFANSON takes game 1. Ah. The ZergLord, he didn't know he had a Ling in position, but he only saw Void Rays. He's like, oh, that's fine, you know, Void Rays are pushing out, whatever. He never got into the main base. He never got into the main. He never saw if there was a second Stargate. He never saw the Forge. He never saw it researching. He didn't see the Twilight Council. He didn't see the Gateway Explosion. The ZergLord was in the dark, and that's why he was just making drones. Ah. Feels bad, man, but ZVP, mate, you gotta be on top of your scouting. You gotta know or have an idea of what your opponent's doing. You can't just stay at home and just, like, you know, take things for granted, because if you do that, chargeless just come into your face. They come into your home, they take everything you own, and you're done. And I'm scared now. I'm scared because we're getting into game 2, and the ZergLord is a good player. He's a great player. He's one of the best in Latin America. And he's one game away from being knocked out of the upper bracket. That's crazy. Looks like an overcooked background. It's what Twitch gave me. What do you want? I also feel like the background, it's not as snowy as I would like. Like I would like, I don't know, like a blizzard going on or something, you know. I want to look at this and I want to feel cold. And I'm not feeling it. But you know who is feeling it. Here in the top right hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Brazilian Zerg player currently down in this series. He's the Brazilian hope representing Amantes de StarCraft. It is the ZergLord. I see Space Moon Milk in the chat. The Drone Lord. Oh no. And spotting in the bottom left hand corner, we have the up and comer. A player who has been popping off in recent months. He is the Peruvian Protoss representing Root Gaming. It is INFANSON, aka Marooned. And again, that was a very well executed all-in. So that's what it was. He wasn't really making workers himself. He had a decent worker count, but it wasn't amazing. But that was also a build that is catered to Berlingrad, right? Berlingrad is a very small map. It has the shortest rush distance in the entire map pool. You can make that even shorter if you mine the minerals or take down the rocks in the middle of the map. So because of that, like that build hits probably as hard as it ever can in this series. On a map like oh god. On a map like it's cold here. It's cold here in the land of the poles. I guess that's where I am. What was I saying? All right. On a map like 2000 Atmospheres or Glittering Ashes or Pride of Altaris, that build, that push is going to hit later. The chances of it being scouted is higher, so I don't see that working 2 games in a row. INFANSON, that was a cheeky move in game 1, but you gotta bring something else to the table. Because I do think that in a longer game, in the mid game, in the late game, the ZergLord is favored. So this is where INFANSON's gotta look into his kind of book of builds and come up with something special. And from what we've seen from INFANSON, we've seen him take games out of the best Zergs in the region. He's got it, mate. He opens up. He opens up with a Twilight Council, not a Stargate. So already mixing things up here. So far, we'll see where this leads us, because so far it's just a Twilight Council. We don't see a Robo. Are we going to see an upgrade? Are we going to see Glaives? Or is he going to be cheeky and go into DTs? As the Twilight Council finishes up, and are we going to see an upgrade so far? Okay, we have 1 probe being pulled out of gas. Yep, we do, of course, have Glaives on the way, so nothing too stylish. This is still common. I don't know if I want to say standard, but it's still a very common opener. But what isn't common is how many gateways. 4 gates is standard, 6 is committed, 8 is 100% all in. So how many gates are going to be thrown down here for INFANSON? Robo is thrown down, so he doesn't intend to just make Glaive Adepts and just send them across the map. No, he intends to make a War Prism as well. And the Robo also allows you to transition out of Glaive Adepts and into things like Disruptors or Immortals for the follow-up Roach push. So there's a lot of options available here for INFANSON. Meanwhile, on the other side, the TheZergLord has just been droning up. He's going for his Roach Horn. Everything here is looking pretty standard. Again though, he doesn't have a lot of scouting information. He has an Overlord, but oh! The Lings do spot 5 Adepts, and that's a little bit sus. That's like, yo, 5 Adepts? They shouldn't be out here at around this time. This should signify gateway aggression. And we already have a Roach Horn on the way, so the TheZergLord, he already has the tools. As long as he doesn't drone up too much, he should be okay. Oh my god. We have a Forge? What? Gracias. Shout out to Finantok in the chat. Thank you so much for oh, the gifted sub to Maximo. Shout out to Maximo, I guess, as well. If you're wondering, yes, we do have new emotes in the chat. They were commissioned and they went live last night, less than 24 hours ago. Now, if you want, you can go to Mimid, you can go to Bedge. We have a Bedge emote, and we also have an awe emote, you know, like you're in awe, I should say. So yes, we have our new emotes. Meanwhile, bit of a Ling run by. We do have a couple of Adepts across the map. What's interesting to me is that there was no War Prism. The Robo wasn't really used. We only have a handful of Adepts, and hold on. Okay, I was about to say, was Glaives cancelled? Glaives was not cancelled, but he's going straight into Blink Stalkers. He's crazy. This is a little bit inefficient, but maybe he can catch his opponent off guard. The Adepts, they get a drone, they pick up a couple of Lings here and there, but these Adepts should be cleaned up. Oh my god, finally they get some damage though. 5, 6? Target fire, one of us! 6 drones go down. For 5 Adepts, not bad. No, it could have been worse. Could have been worse. And what's important is that, again, we're switching gears. He's just hard switching from Adepts into Blink. Something that you don't really expect to see. Again, the lack of War Prism, the prioritization of the Immortal, more gates being thrown down. This is quirky. I kind of like it. We'll see if it works. It's a little bit unorthodox to do this. And this time the TheZergLord, he dips in. He doesn't want to be done dirty 2 games in a row. He does scout all of the production, as well as the fact that, mate, the Immortals are coming out. Or something is coming out, to be fair. It could be a War Prism, I guess. But that was a great scout from the TheZergLord. He did lose more drones than he should have, to be fair, but it's acceptable losses. He's getting a 4th base up and running, you know, he's working on his roaches, he's getting a Bailey nest. Things are looking pretty good here. He's not going to roll over and die like he did last time. Meanwhile, INFANSON just hit his timing. +1 and Blink just finished up. I say he just hit his timing. He should have moved out a little bit earlier, not going to lie. So this is, he missed it a little bit. The timing is still open, I guess. This is dangerous. He's pushing out. We need the War Prism. Okay, War Prism, it's coming across the map. It needs to be here for added micro. And speaking of micro, that is what this is all about. The Force Fields, the Blink Stalkers. How good is the control going to be here for INFANSON? Because the longer this goes on, the better it is for the TheZergLord. Do have a couple more warp-ins coming in. Again, force fields are going to be amazing here. Oh, the TheZergLord is a little bit out of position. The army does head towards the 3rd, not the 4th, but okay. The TheZergLord, he does catch wind. He's rotating over. Here we go, INFANSON. He's pushing in immediately. He targets down one of the queens. The force fields are being thrown down, but the Biles are here to deal with them. And is it going to be enough? We have some decent Blink Stalker micro, but what about the Immortals? The Immortals! Where's the micro? Where's the control? Both Immortals can take it out. Made for nada, this War Prism. Your goal was to be there for the Immortals. But does it matter? The Stalkers are actually getting on top of a lot of these Roaches. Imagine this fight with 2 Immortals. Come on, mate. The Roaches are barely pushing all this away. We have some more Warpins. Is it going to be enough? But with the reinforcements, with 20 more Roaches on the way, the TheZergLord has enough to defend. He will clean this up and feels immortal, man. There's 2 Immortals. They were just left alone to die. Like the Stalkers, they blink back, they expose them. And typically the War Prism is close enough so you can pick them up, right? So you can save them. but that wasn't there. The TheZergLord, he swats this push away. Sure, he loses a couple of queens, but he kept all of his, or the majority of his workers alive, and that is what matters. And now he's just going for the counterattack, and he may just be able to win from here. We do have a single immortal at home. We have overcharge as well. So with overcharge, with the immortal, with these Blink Stalkers, maybe INFANSON can hold on. Oh my god, but the Roaches are just getting so much value. The immortal, up, pick it up. Oh, okay, this time we do have it picked up. This time we do have overcharge as well. The TheZergLord is forced back for now. And I don't know if he can break this. He's gonna try. He has to be careful not to lose too much. Bowser landing, oh my god, almost gets the immortal again. And he is forced back, but he just doesn't stop. And to be fair, he doesn't need to stop. He can just keep trading. Oh my god, the files, they just keep landing. I will say that this time the Warpers Micro is good enough with the immortals where INFANSON has been trading well with them. But he's stuck on 3 bases. He doesn't really have any other tech. He doesn't have a Robotics Bay for disruptors. He doesn't have +2 on the way. He doesn't have a 4th base. Meanwhile, the TheZergLord, he's droning up. He's just rebuilding his army. This is 100% about being in awe and not about life being cute on street. God damn it, Fernando. Shaking my head. As the Roach Ravager is coming in, and overcharge is good, but it's not that good, mate. As much as I would like to believe. There's only 2 shield batteries here. I was gonna say a single shield battery, but mate, it doesn't even matter. We do have our 2 immortals. How good is the micro? One of them is saved, but only one. The Banelings are rolling in as well. There's barely anything left here at the 3rd base for our Protoss player, and the TheZergLord, he is fighting back. He's like, no, you're not gonna do me dirty. Oh my god, a massive explosion in the mineral line. GG gets called, and we are going to our ace match. GG. Oh, I gotta catch up in the chat. I gotta catch up. But yeah, what a game. Again, I like how innovative our Protoss player was. Like, he was like glaives straight, and like he doesn't commit to the glaives and he goes straight into Blink Stalkers. That's nice, but doing that is also inefficient, right? Like, it's also like, well, did the glaive adepts really pay for themselves? He got like 6 drones. Is that worth it? Is that worth not going for a much faster Blink Stalker and going for like a +2 timing instead, or, you know, focusing on your Blink Stalker army? It's hard to say, but like, because of that, he had like a really wonky way of getting to his Blink Stalker push, and by the time he got there, like, the TheZergLord, he had plenty to defend. There wasn't anything too special about how the way he held. I mean, parts of your head are missing, so you might get some brain freeze. I mean, I don't have a green screen. One day I'll get a green screen, and then maybe things will look a little bit better. This is no, those are my plushies. This is budget screen right here. You can see my hand. you can see my hands like being dusted away. Oh god. Wait. Oh god, no! My arm is being eaten. Okay. Here we go. We're diving into our ace match. Game 3 of our first series of the day, and spawning in the bottom right, we have our Brazilian Zerg player representing Amantes the StarCraft. It is the TheZergLord. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn ALE, we have our Peruvian Protoss player. He is blue, representing Root Gaming. It is INFANSON. And this is where I am a little bit scared for the TheZergLord. The smaller the map is, the more chances I want to give INFANSON. We saw him with that charge all in game 1, and he's got plenty more different kinds of all-ins available to him. That's what I'm worried about, you know. That's the strongest part of our Protoss player here. So what's he gonna go for? Blackburn isn't a bad map for Skytoss if he wanted to open up with Stargates. Otherwise, going for something like Charge is good. I don't know if you want to do that Charge build multiple times in one series though. That's a little bit monk-esque, you know. As INFANSON, he's got his pro patrolling here to keep an eye on a third base, especially if that third base is going to be a gold. So again, INFANSON just making sure everything is on the up and up. Epic green screen. Gah! Hold on. Peruvian green screen, mate. What are you on about? Latin American green screen. That's how we do, mate. That's how we do. As INFANSON opens up with a Stargate. Okay, here we go. So we do have a Stargate opening this time. This makes plenty of sense. Void Rays can do well, but again, just because he throws down one Stargate doesn't mean that he wants to go into mass Void Ray and commit. From here, he can still go into a Twilight Council. He can still go into something like Blink Stalkers or Glaive Adepts or Charge. It's all possible, mate. It's all possible. Meanwhile, from the side of the Zerg, exclamation mark Funada TheZergLord, because, mate, he didn't take the gold as his third. Or his natural. What the hell? Mate, it's Blackburn. It's a gold base. To be fair, it can be pretty exposed to things like Oracles and Glaive Adepts and stuff like that. I get it. But the Chad move is to take the gold. Let's be real here, okay? You take the gold anyway. Sorry, the Chad move is to take your opponent's gold on the other side. That's how you really want to do it. Let's be real. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not what we're getting from the ZergLord. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. As INFANSON, he's looking to take his third base. There we go. Second Void Rays on the way for that map control as the Overlords are being cleaned up, as well as all these Lings. But I'm just looking to see what the tech is going to be. There we go. All 4 gases are being taken. We should be seeing, yep, the second Stargate. You don't need that much gas unless you're going to be pumping out more Void Rays. So here on Blackburn, interesting. This is the map where INFANSON decides to go Skytoss. We should be seeing a Forge soon as well. He could spice things up if he wants and go into a fast fleet beacon, but I don't like that on this map. Going into fast carriers or Tempest is cute, but I feel like you want to do that on a map where you can get away with it, like a Glittering Ashes or a Pride of Altaris. I feel like you can be punished on Blackburn, but we'll see. As he's going for an Oracle, he supply blocked. That was actually a pretty big supply block, to be honest. Feels bad, man. We have, oh my, is he going Mass Oracle? Mate, is he gonna go Mass Oracle? This is dirty. If this goes unscattered, this can deal a devastating amount of damage. We'll see if he banks up to 6 Oracles, because once you have 6, you can just go across the map. You can target down Queens, you can ignore Spores, you can just eviscerate Mineral Lines. It's disgusting. Yeah, he's going for it. He's making more. Oh my god. Zerg players, look away. Oh god, don't do it. But you know who shouldn't look away? The ZergLord. He needs to scout. And it's hard, because he has Lings to keep an eye on the third base. Makes sense. But there are Void Rays patrolling everywhere. It's so difficult to sneak an Overlord in. It's not impossible though. If you get Pneumatized Carapace, if you get Overlord speed, you can totally morph in an Overseer and break into the base to scout what your opponent's doing. And it's so important that he does so. He's not though. Like, we're about to have 6 Oracles and 2 Void Rays. If INFANSON wanted to, he could go with everything that he has, go into the main base, and just everything will die. How many Queens do we have? That's an important question. We have 6 Queens, 3 of them are towards the 4th base. They're out of position. This is scary. The Oracles are coming. The Void Rays are not coming. Ooh, they go for the Overseer. Okay, everything is scouted. The Queens are on the way. They're coming. They need to get into the main base as soon as possible. In come the Oracles. The Spore was unborrowed, and the Oracles go straight for the mineral line. How good is the target fire? So far, so good. 4 drones go down. No, there's no Spore here at the natural. No! Oh, God! No, the TheZergLord, please. 15 drones go down. And the Oracles, they're still going to town. There's nothing to stop them. They keep going. Finally, one of the Oracles does get picked off, and the TheZergLord, he's just sending everything across the map. He's just going all in. He's like, I had enough. 20 drones. 20. Oh, God. And the Oracle production is not stopping. He's making 3 Oracles at a time. At this point, I would say enough is enough, and I would say make Void Rays. Let's be honest. Like, this is excessive. This is too much. But we'll see. Because honestly, at a certain point, they do have diminishing returns. There we go. Okay, Void Rays are finally on the way. He's listening to the stream on a 2-minute delay, and he knows what's up. Void Rays are what you want right now. Otherwise, you could die to a counterattack. Oh God, the Oracles, they dip in. Ooh, forces a lot of lost energy here. The Lings, yo, they want to get a denial on the goal base, and they will. That's a kill. That's not a cancel. Oh, INFANSON, you had this game. You dealt so much damage, but he's slipping up a little bit here. And this is keeping the TheZergLord in this game. You know, his Ling and his Roach aggression is doing wonders. The Queens have repositioned. The Spores have repositioned as well. We do have a lot of Oracles, but there is enough anti-air here at the 4th to defend it. Is there enough in the main? Not really. If INFANSON wanted to, he could probably go past the Spores and get into the mineral line again. But he doesn't know that. He doesn't know. Oh. And this is the power of the Oracle. 2 high energy Queens go down. Oh, that is rough. Every single Queen here is so precious for the TheZergLord. Behind this, we have a fleet beacon on the way. We're going to be seeing carriers eventually. Oh, God. There's just so much in the air. It's disgusting. And how many Corruptors do we have? I bring that up because we have 0 Corruptors right now. There we go. 6 are in production. These 6 are going to be so important. Are 6 Corruptors and are the 12 Queens going to be enough? They're now headed towards the main base. They don't have that much energy. There's like 4 Queens with energy. Void Rays, they dip in, they activate their prismatic alignment. Oh my God, the Vipers, they're so exposed. But at the moment, they are being left alone. The Void Rays, though, they're pushing on forward. Oh, the stasis trap blocks off the Queens. Oh my God, the big brain plays. The Void Rays, they dip in, they kill one of the Vipers. The second Viper escapes. And overall, not that much damage was done. Only 5 drones went down. Could have been worse. Roach counterattack. Cannons are going to go down. Forces a recall. The TheZergLord is still in this. Again, could have been worse. He did end up losing a Viper, which did hurt. But of course, he still has at least 1 more Viper remaining. He has his Greater Spire, which I worry about. Wait, what? Okay. I was a little bit confused. So he just morphed every single one of his Corruptors into a Broodlord. I'm worried because Broodlords are not what you want right now. You need to deal with the Sky Toss. This is what's worrisome. The Void Rays. We should be seeing a wave of Corruptors, and okay, there we go. 8 Corruptors on the way. We have a decent amount of Queens. The TheZergLord, his army is okay. It's looking good. Depending on how he engages. It's a very slow army though. It's very immobile. And this is what I'm talking about. The Queens are waddling up towards the north, but by the time they get here, 10 drones have already died. Not just 10 drones, but also the hatchery. The transfuses, are they good enough? And just barely the hatchery survives. What's a little bit scary is that that's a lot of energy that was just wasted. Like, the power of these Queens with the push that's coming is all of that energy to keep the Corruptors and the Spores alive, and the Broodlords, and a lot of that energy just went down the drain into this hatchery. So again, the TheZergLord's push isn't going to be anywhere near as strong. Meanwhile, here we go. It's on the way. INFANSON, does he see? He barely catches wind. Oh god, the Broodlords are exposed. One of them will get picked off immediately. Maybe a second. Second does go down. Oh god, the control. A couple of Corruptors get picked off as well. The TheZergLord, mate, you can't afford like losses like this. And he's morphing in more Broodlords. No. I really worry he won't have enough anti-air. Maybe he will. We have another wave of reinforcing Corruptors. You don't want to fall into the Zerg trap of over-making Broodlords. See if it's going to be enough. Berserk Alignment does get activated here. We do have the carriers going to town. These oracles aren't really doing too much. Finally, they get activated. Finally, they push in. We do have a parasitic bomb on top of all of these void rays. Is it going to be enough, though? Oh, God, that is the question, and this is what I was worried about. All the Corruptors are dying. We have 3 Corruptors left. That is it. These Broodlords are doing nothing, and just like that, the Void Rays push on forward. Every single one of these Broodlords is going to go down. We only have 1 left. We have 0 left. GG gets called, and INFANSON takes the series. Oh my god. And again, like, when that fight was ending, there were like 4 or 5 Broodlords left, and it's like, to be fair, would 4 or 5 Corruptors have made the difference there? Maybe, maybe not, depending on the focus fire. There was only 1 Viper, and we only saw 1 Parasitic Bomb. That's because the other Viper was killed earlier. Oof. GG. GG, well played. INFANSON takes the series in style. Going Mass Oracle into Skytos. It can work. Especially when it goes unscattered. Ay.